Good morning from the Peabody Hotel in beautiful Orlando, Florida, in the 2012 Fall SFA Conference. As you know, we've been trying to get these bloggies done over the last 2 days, and unfortunately we've been experiencing some tremendous technical difficulties, and hopefully this is going to be the first in the series that you'll be receiving, that you'll be able to look at. We're going to try and be brief because we do have a lot of ground to cover here, being that we're here at day 3 of the conference. Opening ceremonies on Monday. Jim Runcie, who's the COO of SFA, opened up with a broader overview of what's going on now with FSA and how they're kind of rebranding themselves, and their new tagline is the proud sponsor of the American mind. He also went into some of the information regarding the IRS data retrieval system and how that's allowed them to process 21 million applications in this last fiscal award year, and the awarding of over $51 billion in aid. So it's quite extensive of what's going on now, and as you can see, as part of domestic spending, it's rival to only a few other domestic programs. David Bergeron and Jeff Baker opened up the session and gave us a broad overview again of what we could expect over the next few days. But the biggest takeaway there and the biggest announcement in that, to me, was the fact that there will be a negotiated rulemaking session in the early part of 2013 that will focus in on the fraud and abuse rings, especially in distance learning, but amongst other issues that are yet to be decided. We think that we've gotten some keys to what maybe some of those issues may be. We won't speculate and leave hanging on that until we've got some better information, but we think we've got an idea on what some of the additional information may be that may be included in negotiated rulemaking coming up. And of course, we'll be looking to secure a seat at the table. We'll be submitting names for nomination, and we'll go through our normal vetting process that we do in GR prior to submitting any names as negotiators for this upcoming negotiated rulemaking session. So the first part of 2013 will be particularly busy since we are also doing our strategic planning for our reauthorization strategy. So we're going to add into that now negotiated rulemaking. Default aversion is a new buzzword around here. It kind of takes the place of default management, and there were some really good sessions about that. As a matter of fact, there was about 3 sessions that kind of wrapped together on default aversion, default management, and the things that we need to be doing now to avert defaults. It's no more about the management of defaults, it's about averting defaults. And a lot of those things happen on the front end. I've contacted and spoken with David Hammond, who's out of the Atlanta regional office, and hopefully he'll be able to come to our spring conference and give us some great insight as to what the department has been doing on some research and identifying who and why people default, so that we can be a little bit more effective in our aversion to defaults and being able to enroll and better help and equip students to deal with student debt. It also wraps into the financial literacy aspect of what one of the other underlying themes to the overall conference is. Financial literacy is going to be a big buzzword because it does go hand in glove with the default aversion program. Our biggest challenge, and I attended a couple sessions that had some great information about that, but our biggest challenge is going to be going forward is how do we take financial literacy programs that are in 2- and 4-year institutions and compress them into ours, where we are mostly 8 to 15-month programs. It'll be a challenge for us, but we're going to have to be meticulous in picking the items that we go about and that we deliver to our students. And then finally, one of the other big sessions was the GE disclosures. The one thing that I'm going to give to you, there was no really new earth-shattering information in there. It was subtle, but there was there. But the basis of it is the fact that, irregardless of what's going on with the court case, we still must update our information as it was outlined in the electronic announcement earlier this week, or the latter part of last week. That deadline has been extended to January the 31st, so you have to have your updated information on by then. But what the key takeaway on that was that the department stated that they will not have the templates ready by then, so you have to continue to do the reporting on what we have been using. Is that a key indicator that they don't feel that the court case or that might be dealt with in neg reg? We don't know. We're still trying to decipher that. The other thing is just as a reminder, since they weren't able to collect data, you're going to have to calculate and come up with your own median loan debt figure. So prior to where we were reporting that information to the department, and they were giving us back our median loan debt. That's something we're going to have to do on our own. So those are some of the highlights and key takeaways over the last couple of days. I'll kick this over to Tom, and he'll give you some updates on some of the sessions that he attended.